Hi everyone, I'm Taki. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I was flying from Beijing to Almaty on Air China. It's about a 5.5-hour flight. It was my very first trip to Kazakhstan, and I was super excited to explore this country. In this video, I'll show you all the amazing places I visited. Let's go! I stayed at the famous Kazakhstan Hotel, one of the landmarks of Almaty. The building really stands out with its grand, Soviet-style architecture. It's impossible to miss. The area around the hotel is always lively, with lots of traffic and people passing by. My room was on the 22nd floor, offering a stunning panoramic view of the entire city. It was nice weather and I was impressed with the view from my room. I love how the city still keeps its Soviet-era charm. The old streets and buildings feel so timeless. The room was a bit old, but clean and really comfortable to stay in. It had all the basic amenities: a toothbrush, razor, shampoo, and body soap, which was nice. The room was cleaned every day, and the towels were replaced daily as well. They also provided two 1.5-liter bottles of water every day, which was super helpful. Most of the TV channels were in Russian or Kazakh, but there were a couple of English ones. The only thing I found a bit tricky was the air conditioning. It was hard to figure out the temperature control. Sometimes it got a bit warm, so I just opened the window to let some cool air in. This is Arbat Street, one of the most famous pedestrian streets in Almaty. You'll often see people singing, playing music, or selling paintings, which gives the area a really lively atmosphere. One thing to know about Almaty is that English isn't widely spoken. You can usually communicate in English at hotels and the airport, but outside of that, it can be a bit challenging. Credit cards like Visa are generally accepted, which is very convenient. However, some public toilets require cash, so it's a good idea to carry a small amount of local currency. Ride-hailing apps like Yandex.Go and the bus payment app, One, are basically essential here. I personally couldn't get them to work properly, maybe because I was using an eSIM instead of a regular SIM. Inside Panfilov Park, there's one of Almaty's most famous landmarks, Zenkov Cathedral, also known as the Ascension Cathedral. The church immediately catches your eye with its beautiful, colorful design. The main color is a soft yellow, which makes it look really cute and elegant at the same time. There are always a lot of people around here, families, tourists, and even locals who come to relax or take photos. You'll also see tons of pigeons walking and flying around the park, which adds a peaceful feeling to the whole place. What makes this church truly unique is that it's said to be the only wooden Russian Orthodox church in the world. And amazingly, it was built without using a single metal nail. Despite that, it has survived several strong earthquakes since it was built in the early 1900s, which is really impressive. Inside, the cathedral feels very elegant and luxurious, filled with golden icons, candles, and soft light coming through the windows. Even though I'm not a Christian myself, I could still feel the calm and sacred atmosphere inside. It's definitely one of the most beautiful places I've visited in Almaty. And if you ever come here, make sure to spend some time just sitting in the park and enjoying the view of this stunning church. Right next to Zenkov Cathedral is the Park of 28 Panfilov Guardsmen, a place that really leaves a strong impression. The main monument here is huge and incredibly powerful, showing the faces and figures of soldiers in motion. You can really feel the emotion and the strength behind it. This memorial was built to honor Kazakh soldiers who fought and died in World War II, especially those who defended Moscow against Nazi Germany. It's a reminder of the sacrifices made by so many people from Kazakhstan during that time. On sunny days, you might even hear someone nearby singing old military or wartime songs. I'm not sure actually, which adds a very nostalgic and emotional atmosphere to the park. It's both peaceful and deeply moving, a place that connects history with the present. If you walk a little farther past the large gate behind the monument, you'll find an open area where several old military tanks are displayed. It's like a small outdoor museum. This is the Green Bazaar, one of the most popular markets in Almaty. You can find all kinds of vegetables, fruits, And meet here, the variety is amazing. As I walk through the aisles, many vendors offered me free samples to try, which was really fun. The place has that unique foreign market smell and atmosphere. A little intense, but exciting. It's lively, full of energy, and a great spot to experience local life. This is the Central Mosque. The Central Mosque of Almaty stands out with its beautiful white walls and golden dome. Islam is deeply rooted in Kazakhstan, and you can really feel that spiritual atmosphere here. This is Navet, a popular restaurant where you can try traditional Kazakh food. The inside is brightly decorated, really cute and stylish. I tried lagman and plov, and both were super delicious, though a little bit oily. Still, the flavors were amazing and totally worth it. I went to Kok Tobe for the end of my first day. The gondola station to Kok Tobe Hill is actually very close to the Kazakhstan hotel. You can easily find it by looking for the green sign near the entrance. A round-trip ticket cost me about 8,000 tenge, which is roughly $25 US. The ride takes only a few minutes, but the view along the way is really interesting. Looking straight down, you can see some fancy residential areas, beautiful houses and quiet streets that make you wonder what life is like there. You can also spot the Almaty Tower, which is actually a television and communication tower. Unfortunately, when I visited, it wasn't lit up at night, but it still looked impressive standing high above the city. I heard there's also a bus that goes up to the top of Kok Tobe. But honestly, taking the gondola is the best way. It's smooth, scenic, and fun all the way to the top. From the top of Kok Tobe Hill, you can see the entire city of Almaty spread out below you. The view is absolutely stunning. Especially at night, the city lights stretch endlessly in every direction. It's definitely one of the best night views I've ever seen. Even though it was a bit cold when I went, probably because of the season, there were still quite a lot of people enjoying the evening. Some were taking photos, others were just relaxing and watching the city lights. One of the most famous spots up here is the Beatles monument. It's a bronze sculpture of the 4 members standing around a bench, and you can actually sit down right in the middle for a photo. It's such a fun and unexpected thing to see here in Kazakhstan. There's also a small amusement area on the hill, with a Ferris wheel and some rides for kids, as well as a few cozy cafes where you can grab a drink and warm up. Overall, Kok Tobe Hill is a perfect place to end your day in Almaty, with beautiful views, good vibes, and that peaceful feeling of being above the city. I went to Medeu for my second day. Medeu is known as the highest outdoor ice skating rink in the world. It's located high up in the mountains above Almaty, surrounded by amazing scenery. The rink was actually used as one of the main venues for the 2011 Asian Winter Games, which makes it a really historic and special place for Kazakhstan. Unfortunately, when I visited, the rink was under construction, so I couldn't go inside the main stadium area, but from a higher viewpoint, I could still look down and see the inside of the rink, and yeah, it was definitely under renovation. There were still quite a few tourists walking around, taking pictures and enjoying the mountain air. Even though I couldn't skate, it was still worth the visit just for the atmosphere and the view. If you climb up the long stairs next to the Medeu Stadium, you'll be rewarded with an incredible view of the snowy mountains. The higher you go, the more amazing the scenery becomes. It's absolutely breathtaking. If you keep walking along the path beyond the stairs, you'll reach a well-maintained area with a cafe and restaurant. The view from there is also stunning, surrounded by snow-covered peaks and fresh mountain air. It's definitely one of the most beautiful spots around Medeu. This is Almaty Central Stadium, the city's main sports arena, and home to many big events. On my third day in Almaty, I visited Republic Square, one of the city's most important landmarks. The streets around the square were quite busy, with a lot of cars passing by. You can really feel that this area is the political and symbolic heart of the city. From the government building beside the square, You can see the Independence Monument standing right in front. It's a tall and impressive statue that represents Kazakhstan's freedom and national pride. The whole area has a grand and formal atmosphere. Right next to Republic Square is the Central State Museum of Kazakhstan, one of the largest and most important museums in the country. The building itself has a very solid, majestic look with that classic Soviet-style architecture that really gives it a sense of history and presence. The entrance fee was about 5,000 tenge, which is roughly $15 US. Inside, you can learn about Kazakhstan's long and diverse history, from the Stone Age and the nomadic period to the Soviet era, and finally to the country's independence. It's a fascinating journey through time that helps you understand how Kazakhstan became what it is today. There were quite a few visitors when I went, both locals and tourists, and everyone seemed really interested in the exhibits. One of the highlights for me was seeing a real yurt, the traditional home of nomadic people. Standing inside, it felt like stepping back in time, simple, practical, and full of culture. If you're interested in history, this museum is definitely worth spending a couple of hours exploring. I visited two famous parks on my last day. One is First President Park. I was really impressed by the huge and beautiful gate at the entrance of First President's Park. It's so grand that it almost feels like you're entering a palace garden. The park itself is incredibly spacious and full of nature, with long walking paths, open lawns, and plenty of trees. Surprisingly, there weren't many people when I visited, which made it feel calm and peaceful. The park was named after Kazakhstan's first president, Nursultan Nazarbayev, and it's a place where you can really feel a sense of pride and history. From a small hill inside the park, you can see the snow-covered mountains in the distance, probably part of the Tian Shan Range, and the view was absolutely stunning. Just a little east of the park of 28 Pamphilov, Guardsman is Central Park. It was pretty quiet and almost empty, and the pond was completely frozen because of the cold. You can find nice souvenirs like these at local supermarkets in Kazakhstan. This chocolate comes in packaging with the Kazakh flag. It tastes sweet and gentle, really delicious. There's also tea packaged in boxes printed with the Kazakh flag and traditional yurts, which makes it a perfect and affordable gift to take home. This trip was honestly amazing. I had such a great time here in Almaty. I really love the city's lively energy and its clean, beautiful atmosphere. There's something about Almaty that just makes you want to stay longer. I definitely want to come back in summer and visit places like Big Almaty Lake and Charyn Canyon. I'm sure they'll look completely different and even more stunning in warmer weather. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any thoughts or questions about this trip, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.